Okay, so my lady friend Mercury just took a phone call from her sister. Uh, and sister in Espanol, hermana, Hermana. I believe that's it. You know, it's all transliteration anyway. The idea of spelling a word is the letters to represent sounds. So if you understand, I guess, phonetics, you might say phonetics is the science of partly of transliteration, which is just the writing down of symbols that represent how a word is to be pronounced. Anyway, we're working with this filbert again, but you know what? Let's take a break from the filbert and work with, I don't know what the official name of this brush is, but you can see how that can be useful in a different way than the filbert. And we are coming over here. You know what? Before we do that, filbert, I wish I had a smaller brush. I actually do. And here's my brush selection. If we find a smaller brush, that's not the one. That is kind of what I need, but it's a little bit older. So if we take, let's say, this brush, and we envision what we want to do with the brush, you could imagine what we might want to do with this brush. We take a lot of water and a little bit of alizarin crimson, and here's our setup. And I had somebody, you know, one of my viewers, and I'm very grateful for my viewers, but somebody said, please put it on a tripod. So we will do a few of these on a tripod, but I haven't gotten to the point where I'm set up to do that yet. And so she was saying, please, you're making me dizzy. Please put it on a tripod. So I promise to that viewer that I will, at some point, I will do that. There's no way, there's wild horses won't stop me from doing that at some point. I can't do it today. I'm not set up to do it today. I could even just do my own makeshift setup with a steady camera. That I might do this weekend. I may not do it today, or I may do it later today. But right now, I kind of like, even though she's probably right that in some ways it would be better, there are advantages to my being able to show the palette, show the setup, show how we mix. Everything is shown. So the person, the viewers, you know, even the one that made the suggestion of the tripod, even she or he, because I don't know if it was a man or a woman. I got the impression it might be a lady. I can't remember what it was. That it was one of the viewers. That's all I remember. And but we, you know, you take it like this, and you set up that. Look at how we do. Look at that. You know, just let it happen, and then we'll do the tripod maybe later today, or maybe we'll just do a steady setup, that a makeshift setup. Put the camera on a makeshift steady surface. But right now, I want the audience to see every bit of the process, which involves, like what we did right there. Now we got red, that's nice, but we want to mix that red with a little orange and yellow, and then we want to come back with a little green towards the end of this segment, which is coming up sooner than we, you know, I really want to end each segment with a kind of a visual resolution of problem. You kind of like set out, you set out problems for yourself by kind of making a little mess, and then you have to kind of clean up the mess as you go along. So now we want to come in with a light green, which is it's really just the green chromium oxide green is basically is what we're using, and come in and then just kind of like, basically what you're doing is you're kind of like making autumn colors in this one. Okay, so, you know, without wanting to, I don't want to run, it's get too long, so I'm going to go ahead and shut off, and then probably have to break it up into segments or not. If not, then the next one will be shorter. But I wanted you to see everything, and this is a brush that we ended up with this morning today, and we're going to change that. We have our setup with a slanted water dish, so that the brushes don't get compromised, the shape of the brushes don't get compromised as they stay moist. And acrylic, they got to stay moist. If you leave a dry acrylic brush or acrylic brush outside of water for 15 minutes, you don't have a brush. Your brush is ruined. You always have to keep the brushes moist when working with acrylics. On this day, we talk about art. The day of my father's passing, May 18th, 9 years ago. My family and I are remembering him. Wonderful man, great musician and great man, Robert Listokin, 2025.